What is this? Watch the newest Netflix movie or die? I mean, that doesn't seem like much of a choice. I guess watch the newest Netflix movie, right? Oh my god, it's already going. Okay. Oh, choose or die. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my god. Okay. Maybe I chose wrong. Netflix just released their brand new horror movie, Choose or Die, and boy, was this one a doozy. Let's get right into it with the good. And let's just be honest here, no one does the 80s throwback aesthetic like Netflix does. Ever since Stranger Things came out, Netflix has really pushed into the whole retro vibes thing, and this movie does that pretty well. The whole premise of this movie is about people finding this horror game from the 80s, so it makes sense that this movie would have that retro feeling. And that's another thing that I found really interesting. I think that the concept for this movie was really cool. I mean, it's nothing new, it's basically a combination of Jumanji and the Would You Rather movie that came out like 10 years ago, but it could make for a really interesting film. And I do want to throw in here before we move on, I feel like the cast performances here were pretty good for what they were given, but that's gonna lead us right on to the bad. And listen, you just need to know right now, this is a bad movie, okay? The writing's bad, the story's bad, the characters are bad, the mystery's bad, the special effects are bad, the reveal at the end is bad, and the, I guess you could say, moral of this movie is bad, or rather non-existent. But with that, the question that I'm gonna propose for this movie is not if it's a good movie on its own, because it's not, it's very bad, but if it's so bad that it's good. AKA, is this movie so bad that it's funny? Before we get into that though, I just need you to like and subscribe right now because, dude, I went through this for you, okay? This was torture, all right? So go ahead, like and subscribe to the channel, or tell you what, you can choose to like or subscribe. Choose or die. Except you're not gonna die, okay? Come on, just give me something here. Okay, let's start off with the overall story. While the general concept of this movie is really good, the story that they used for this was so bad. Basically, these two friends are trying to figure out who's controlling the game when I really don't care. Like in Jumanji, they're not trying to figure out who created the game and why they created it the whole time. They're just trying to stop it and get through it, and that's what I wanted from this. I don't need some big elaborate backstory, just show them trying the game and get creative about what they have to choose from. Unfortunately, this element was not so bad it was funny, it was so bad that it was just boring. But let's move on to the choices and the kills. Now these were so bad they were funny. I don't want to go into too much depth for anybody that maybe does want to watch this movie, but I will say that the diner scene, which is in the trailer for this movie, is the only decent choice or kill whatsoever. The rest are so bizarre. For one of them, it basically does turn into Jumanji, but they don't have the budget to show any good CGI, so they create like a mini game for us to watch while it's happening. And then there's another one that just looks kind of awful with the effects, and you have to see it to believe it, okay? Watch it if you want to see the kills, that's all I'm saying. But the kills, I would say, were so bad they became funny. Then we have the awful characterization in this movie. The two leads in this film are just kind of like nerds that flirt sometimes, but also who cares? Our lead character's mom is crazy, and I think also on drugs maybe, because her son died. Then you have the drug dealer neighbor guy that keeps trying to like hook up with any living thing he sees. And there's also a few characters just thrown into scenes randomly with very little relevance, if any. Yeah, so the characterization in this movie is pretty funny, especially when they try and get you to care about somebody, but you don't because you know nothing about them. And then we have the ending with all of the answers we've been searching for. And this is probably one of the lamest endings I've ever seen in my life. This entire movie felt like it was building up to some crazy finale that would blow your mind. And, well, in a way it did that, but not in the way it was trying to. The entire third act of this movie was just so ridiculous, I felt like I just wasted the last hour and a half of my life. I struggle to say that this is outlandish enough to be so bad it's funny, but it really toes that line. It almost feels like a troll moment, like the director wanted to be like, gotcha. I don't know, I'm really torn on this one. I'm really mixed about it. So let me know, if you watch this movie, do you think the end was so bad that it was good? But with that, let's move on to my final thoughts. Listen, this movie is bad and there is no way around it. However, if you've previously watched trashy horror movies and had a good time with them, then this is probably one you should check out. Now, if you're actually wanting a good horror film that actually brings something interesting to the table, well, you're just gonna have to look elsewhere. For me, Choose or Die is going to get a grade of a D-. Honestly, I could have gone with an F here, but I definitely got some laughs out of it, so it could be worse. If you made it this far, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be reviewing all different kinds of movies and TV shows coming out on any streaming platform you can imagine. That's all for this time, so I'll catch you in the next one.